I don't really have anything to say. I just look cute and wanted y'all to see it, so here I am. Okay? Okay? Okay?
Flee from sexual immorality. Isn't that what the Bible says? Yeah, that's what the Bible says. But there's a lot of stuff in the Bible that people just don't do, okay? But that specifically is very needed in this time.
Have you caught HIV yet? Well, thank the Lord, because here are the top 10 counties in Georgia with the highest HIV cases in 2025. Coming in at number 10 is Athens, Georgia, Clark County, 500 cases. Number 9, Savannah, Georgia, Chatham County, 700 cases. Number 8, Macon, Bibb County, 800 cases. Number 7, Columbus, Georgia, Muskogee County, 900 cases. Number 6, Augusta, Georgia, Richmond County, 1,500 cases. Number 5, Lawrenceville, Georgia, Gwinnett County, 2,000 cases. Number 4, Marietta, Cobb County, 2,500 cases. Number 3, Jonesboro, Georgia, Clayton County, 3,800 cases. Number 2, Decatur, where it's greater, DeKalb County, 10,800 cases. And coming in at number 1 is Atlanta, Georgia, Fulton County, with approximately 19,500 HIV cases already for 2025. Remember, this video is not to scare you, but to inform you. So like, share, and repost, and stay safe.
I am based in Lagos and I've been married for 7 years. I found out I was HIV positive when I was 6 months pregnant with my third child. On getting to the hospital for my normal antenatal routine, the doctor said I had to run some tests, which are usual tests for pregnant women, which include HIV tests. I ran these tests and it came out that I was HIV positive after the test. This was a shocker to me because how? I have never had an extramarital affair in my marriage, so how is this possible? I started crying immediately in the hospital. The doctor, the nurses, everybody tried to comfort me and to console me and to let me know that I can live and give birth to this child with this HIV and the child will not be affected. Of course, they will always want to sweet talk me, but I was in pain. I felt like dying immediately. I go back home. I met my husband. I told my husband about the situation. My husband was even more shocked than I am. And then I asked him, according to the advice from the doctor said we should run a family test for my whole children, my 2 children and my husband. We need to run HIV tests for them to be sure that I am the only one living with this disease. And so I told my husband and waved it away. He said it was not necessary. We should just come together and look for a solution on how I'm going to get better with this HIV. I thought he was caring. I thought he was actually concerned about me. I didn't see it as an issue until I went back to the hospital and my doctor repeated it that I have to come with my family for another HIV test to be sure if I am the only one living with this disease in my family. I went back, I told my husband, and he said no. At this point, I knew something was wrong. I knew something was fishy. And then I forced him and the children. First, he did not agree. I had to go to the hospital with my children for this HIV test. And lo and behold, I found out that my 2...
Can you ask what my symptoms were of having HIV? Yeah, of course you can. So my symptoms of having HIV will be twofold. One will be around symptoms I had when I first contracted HIV, and the other will be symptoms that I experienced later down the line, which were an indication that I have HIV. So I contracted HIV in the winter of 2018, and the first 4 to 6 weeks after being infected with HIV, I had a very intense viral infection. What this looked like was my glands under here were really swollen, like you would have with the mumps. I had really intense pneumonia, and I had rashes all over like my chest, my arms, my back, some of my thigh. They weren't itchy, they weren't sore, they were just a rash, and they wouldn't go away with like antihistamines or antibiotics or eczema cream or anything like that. I did go to doctors for this and told them like, I really don't feel well. I'm taking like paracetamol and Nurofen and all that, and it's just not shifting. I don't know why I'm so ill. And they just couldn't figure it out. Turns out it's HIV. So those symptoms just stop after about 4 weeks. So by Christmas I'm pretty good. And then nothing for years. Fast forward to 3 years later, and I get pregnant with my husband. I have a lovely baby, but at the start of that pregnancy, I was really dizzy a lot, really fatigued, which is pretty normal for pregnancy, so no one would think the wiser. But the initial blood test that I had when I got pregnant, because that's standard routine for anyone in the UK to get a blood test which tests you for things like HIV, those tests showed that I had very low platelets. Now, platelets are what make your blood clot, and that's quite important in pregnancy, that you have clotted blood rather than thin blood, because you don't want to lose the baby. Now, like an acceptable bottom level normal range of platelets is like 150,000 count, something like that. I'm not sure what the count specifically is, but I know that number is like the bottom level of normal, somewhere between like 150,000 to 400,000 as far as platelet count goes is like normal. Mine was at its highest 80 and dropped dramatically to 20, which is like critical. The gum clinic, when they found out that my platelets were that low, actually called me up late on a Friday night and just said, if you get anything, if you have a small paper cut, if you get a bump, if you get a bruise, you go to A&E immediately because your blood will not clot. Bearing in mind, I'm like 10 weeks pregnant at this point, it's like still pretty risky territory for pregnancy. But there's something about the fact that I was pregnant and had undiagnosed HIV and therefore not on treatment yet. The combination of that really badly affected my platelets. As soon as I started treatment though, my platelets just rose massively and got to normal pretty much within a month, which is astronomical. It just shows how good the treatment is. But to answer the question, my platelets were badly affected, and I was only 3 years into having HIV, so that's quite soon. Generally speaking, people will go 5, 10, even more years before they experience any symptoms after the initial viral infection, if they even had that. And I guess that's the weird thing with HIV, is that not everyone has that initial viral reaction that I had, and not everyone will have their platelets be affected or have them be affected at that certain point. So that's why it's really hard to pick up on people that do have HIV, because it doesn't really present the same every single time. But that's how it affected me, and that's how it got picked up.
In the last 8 months, Atlanta alone, have reported 20,000 HIV cases. I don't know how many times I can say this, but I'm going to say it every day if I have to. You need to keep your legs closed. I don't know what the hell is going on, but sex is not one of them things that you need to be doing. It's not worth dying for. And I don't care how good the medication is now. I don't care that it is now not a automatic death sentence like that as it used to be. I don't care. Keep your legs closed. 20,000 cases in the last 8 months in Atlanta. Is it worth? I wish I would even go visit down there. It is not going to happen. And unfortunately, I know some people that have contracted it. To be truthfully honest with you, all of them happen to be men. It's not worth your life. Protect yourself. Leave it alone. Go get tested together. Know your status. Take PrEP.